Hello viewers, my name is Rinkoo and I've spent 32 years of my life in the people development space, primarily last 8 years as a resilience coach. So here are my 6 strategies. Strategy 1. Resilient people admit and know that crap or shit happens. Suffering is an inevitable part of life. I think so much of the world of TikTok, Instagram, Facebook makes life feel so much more colorful and positive, and people think that that's the norm. The truth is, that's not the norm. The norm is suffering has to live with us side by side. The earlier we accept that, the better we will be in trying to normalize our lives. We need to keep it real. Resilient people believe and acknowledge that shit or crap will happen. Number 2, resilient people, and this is a highly valuable and learnable skill, must select what they want to give attention to. We live in a world of great adversities and suffering, and we're hardwired to be negative. We're hardwired to always feel trapped, feel scared, feel fearful, feel anxious. My parents have died. Now it's my turn. How do I get over this? These are thoughts that go through us. Resilient people allow that when suffering happens and grief strikes you, you need to let it settle in. Don't suppress your feelings. And I don't agree, and I think you will agree with me when someone says, your parents led a full life, or your loved ones led a full life. Sometimes loneliness can become your best friend. Why? Because finally, you can be in touch with your own feelings. And if you're not in touch with your own feelings, you can become very resentful and very numb. And when you don't have self-empathy in trying to explain who you are and how you feel, you're not going to be able to connect with others. So I believe that I would rather have myself to say that I don't want to bottle up my feelings. I want to cry 15 minutes a day. I need to talk to someone. I need to show up my emotions. Because grief and acknowledging grief is the only way to get over the cycle of grief. Acknowledge your emotions. Strategy 3. Resilient people tune in to the good. My mom and dad always said to me, we're not going to always be here for you. You have done so much for me, and yet you're not married. I want you to choose life, not death. I tune into the good. Remember, these people that you cared for, that may have left this world, have not left you. You must draw upon their beliefs and their values and their strengths. Each day that has gone by for me, I've never been able to not grieve. But each day has been pretty good because they are looking after you from above. So tune into the good. As a resilience coach, I am putting myself to the test. While I'm flung on the other side of the equation, I also remember resilient people don't let busyness cover the grief. It doesn't mean keep busy, go to work, go do your freelance projects, go do your consultancies, train. That doesn't mean it helps the grief. What really helps the grief is the little small things, like 3 good things that happened today is a journal I keep. Or calling a friend for 8 minutes. 8 minutes is all I need, which is, by research, tells you that you'll start to feel better. 8 minutes is all I need with a friend, and I feel better. Now, each of you will have your own strategies. Resilient people find their own strategies, whether it's in the art of movement, walking, vitamin D, exercise, talking to a friend, a hot, long bath, swooning, lying on a grass, reading a book. It's all subjective. But resilient people always say that I am not going to let the busyness of my life cover my grief, because then you're just avoiding grief. You're not helping yourself. Number 5. This is a very important one for me. I ask myself this every day, primarily because my sibling also coaches me, and therefore I ask this very powerful question. I wonder if it's helpful for you. For those who are grieving, resilient people ask themselves, are you helping yourself right now, or are you harming yourself? And by that I mean, should I wallow in pity? Should I not enjoy myself because my parents have passed and I feel a bit lonely? Should I sit with my guilt? Should I be busy all day? Should I not do anything for the next year because I should be grieving? Many questions will float through our minds, our negative minds. Resilient people will always ask this question: is this harming me more than helping me? Is this hindering me? Am I becoming a more positive person, or a more suppressed person, or a more negative person? I have a right to grieve, but also to be grateful for life. To grieve, to remember my parents, but also to enjoy a little bit of my life. Because they couldn't enjoy the last 10, 11 years of their lives does not mean you're not entitled to enjoy yours. You have done your very best. Always ask yourself, the thought is just a thought. Don't let negativity take you over. Ask yourself, are you harming yourself with that question of the should I, or are you helping yourself? And the final strategy, 6, resilient people always seek out some form of support. While loneliness is an important part of acknowledging grief, because loneliness is something you need to get used to. It can become your friend. It can help you to finally find who you have been and have lost in the process of losing loved ones. But if you sit with loneliness and negative emotions too long, it will not help you to bounce and reset. Now, I thought just being alone was enough. But it took me a while to reframe from being lonely to being alone. And that reframing came because I reached out more to my sibling, who I had at one point not talked to for a while. Reached out to those good friends that I could trust. They were wondering where I'd gone, and I didn't want to burden them. It's not burdening them. It's not burdening anyone. Reach out to them and they'll reach out back to you. You always need someone that you would like to speak with. The Kampung Palliative Care movement is there for you, because we've all journeyed in these journeys. We know what you're going through. Everyone needs psychosocial support. We know the functional tasks that we have to do, but when it comes to grieving, it's a whole new ballgame. Resilient people reach out, and we're here for you. Thank you for watching.